Right, hello folks, I'm back again with the second video of today. As I mentioned last time, we're going to be taking a look at Marvel's latest event, which was King in Black. At least, as far as I know, there might have been some events since that, but that's the only one I'm interested in. I first became interested in this character Null, who is, the titular King in Black, when I read the Silver Surfer Black 5-issue series. He was very much the villain of that, and the reason I became enamoured was because he reminded me very much of Thanos, which is my favourite Marvel character. No matter about hero, villain, he's just my favourite character. Love Thanos. He reminded me a bit of him, sort of like world, universal domination at any cost. I found Silver Surfer Black a good read. And when it was announced that there was going to be a series where Null comes and bothers us on Earth, I thought, okay, we'll have some of that. And me being the idiot that I am, I decided that I would buy the main series and all the tie-ins. Now, unfortunately, nothing changes with Marvel because a lot of the tie-ins had very, very tenuous and nebulous connections to the main storyline. But there you go. They all had this little King in Black motif in the corner, and me being a collector, I thought, okay, we'll have all of that lot. So here we are. Now, when I first started collecting comics just over 60 years ago, I always became fascinated with the covers. I have some comics in my collection which I bought for the cover purely, and the insides are pretty hopeless and not very nice at all, but I just like the cover, so I bought it. And so I tell you that because now I'm just going to show you basically a lot of comic covers. I don't think there's anything more needs to be said. I'll just run through the whole collection of King in Black plus all the tie-ins. Okay, now that was the basic King in Black #1, and then there was a load of variants. Most of which I bought actually. There was one variant. And we had that very nice one. I know it seems daft having all these issues of one comic book, but I quite like variants. And I quite like comic book covers if they're done well. Most of these are quite nice. Because, the King in Black has a relationship to Venom, so you'll see, if you haven't read it, you'll see a Venom connection in quite a load of these. Yeah, that's the only one I'm not keen on. I don't like this digital artwork on covers. To be honest, I don't know what is digital and what is pencil ink these days, but I can always tell that something's done for definite in digital by the look of it, and I didn't like that one, as opposed to that one. Yeah. That one was done by a very popular artist of the moment called Peaches Momoko. She does a lot of sort of manga style, if you like. That's the closest I can equate to her style. I assume it's a she, being called Peaches. There are a lot of variants with her artwork on, and some of them go for you know, quite big money. That was one I particularly like, but that's. I mean, those ones I showed you there are all the regular variants. These are sort of like either, I can't remember where each exactly came from, but you can see from the price there. Although, I mean, to be honest, that's not much different to a normal number one. I think most of the number ones are £4 odd. But that will be, you know, shops get incentive issues where if they order 50, they get a variant cover, and that is one of those. I don't know how many, whether it's a 1 in 20 or a 1 in 30 or what, but it's certainly not a regular variant. And neither is that. As you can see, that one was a little bit more expensive, but I don't know where I got. I might have got these at cut price. I can't remember, but I mean, it's probably a 1 in 50 or a 1 in 100, you know. So, I mean, originally it was 25 quid. So it'll probably be one of these 1 in 100 covers. Well, obviously there's not many of those knocking about. And yeah, now we move on to issue 2. I think that's the regular cover for King in Black number 2. Quite nice. Now with the rest of these, I don't have so many variants as I did. I just went mad with number 1. There's Null there. That's a variant cover. I think that's an ordinary variant. I mean, I'm still missing an awful lot of variants, but you know, you can't afford everything. I'll show you that one secondly. That's the regular edition of number 3. It might be worth mentioning that all of these regular editions I've got are interlocking covers. I mean, I can't show them to you because I would have to, you know, spread them across the screen. I haven't got enough arms or hands. But yes, they are interlocking covers, which means that one merges into the next number. So there's good old Null there giving somebody a good kicking. And then for number 3, that's obviously one of the 1 in 100 or 1 in 50 variants. As you can see from the price. Very nice. I like that one. A lot of these covers, thankfully, were quite stylish, even though, as I say, some of the stories had absolutely nothing to do with the main book. There's another variant for number 3. I think that's. I think I did a little series of alien variants, and you can see the alien there fighting Null. I don't know why that's a thing, because it certainly doesn't appear in the story. And there's another variant edition of number 3. Like I said, Venom is quite prominent in a lot of these King in Black books. Right, on to number 4. I only seem to have very strange. Right, number 4. That must be one of the interlocking covers, which is a variant, of course. Got old Spidey there. And then number 5, I have the good old surfer there, with Null in the background. Nice cover. Nice cover. And then there were these. I did a set of these. I've only got 3 of them. Called tattoo variants. That was number 1. Quite nice. That was number 3. Nicer. And that was issue 5. yeah, I thought they looked quite nice. So I shall be searching out issues 2 and 4 in the variants. Right, now this was one of the earlier issues. It I don't know why, but as you can see all of the variant, all of the tie-ins had this little motif in the corner there, King in Black, and this is issue 5, and it was just some reason they picked a later issue of a comic book to kick it all off, which I could never understand, but there you go. Now these are all, the rest of these are all in alphabetical order. So here we have Avengers 45, that was a tie-in. Not too keen on that particular cover. Then we have Black Cat. That was issue 1. Issue 2. And issue 3. Now I've actually read the main story and all of the tie-ins. So I suppose if nothing else, it gives you an opportunity to read books that you normally wouldn't bother with. There was a couple of Daredevil issues I did tie-ins for, 26. Was a variant of 26, which was quite a nice cover. And then number 27, again, quite a nice Electra cover there. So some books they just picked 2 or 3 as variants. Other books just had a single variant edition. We have here Fantastic Four. I think there was only, oh no, there was 2 FFs, 29 Torch there, and 30. Thing looking suitably evil and generally peed off there. Right. And we have next Guardians of the Galaxy. I think there was only 1 issue of Guardians. I have a variant for it, so that's the regular edition of Guardians 10, and that was the variant. Yeah, I think that was the Alien variant again. Don't know why they did this, but they did. Right, next up we have the weirdest tie-in. I don't know why this is Venom versus Carnage. Of course, Carnage is going to get a lot of fan points when the new Venom, the new Venom film comes out, because he's fairly prominent in it, I believe. But anyway, that was number 1. That was the variant of number 1. Number 2. Nice cover, that one. And last but not least, number 3, which again is Gwen. Yeah, so that was Venom versus Carnage, the tie-in. Then we had the inevitable You know, little Deadpool. Just the one issue. Gwen, Deadpool looking particularly regal there. Right, and then I think there was only one issue of Miles Morales getting his teeth knocked out there. As I say, most of these had a very tenuous connection with the main story, but like I say, me being an absolute mug for collecting everything, I'm in a bit of box trouble here. Right, okay. Now this was one of the earlier. I'll find them all. This was one of the earlier tie-ins. No more with some quite nice covers. Number 1. That was the variant of number 1. Most of these issues had variants of one sort or another, but as I say, I only have odd ones that I've picked up cheap. I picked up a load of them for £1 in Travelling Man. Number 2. And number 3. Number 4. And finally, number 5. I normally look like that when I get out of bed in the morning and deteriorate during the day. If only I wished. Right, so that was no more. Okay, what do we have next? Yeah, I couldn't figure out what this series had to do with. There might be another one. Yeah, I couldn't really figure out what this series had to do with the storyline whatsoever, but just say you pays your money, you takes your choice. Right, Planet of the Symbiotes. This was quite a compendium of stories. This one, I think there was 3 short stories in these, but I think it was just a money grab. That one. That was one of the variants of number 1. Strange cover. That's it. And then we had issue 2, and finally Cloak and Dagger on issue 3. So yeah, I mean the covers were nice, but the stories were a bit pants, to be honest. Not impressed. And we had, this one was very strange. But then again, I don't know much about the characters involved. This was Return of the Valkyries, Jane Foster and a couple of other characters from Thor who I'm not familiar with. But once again, as I say, the covers were quite nice. Number 2, good old Sentry there. And number 3. And 4. That was a Return of the Valkyries. Now this one, this next little lot I'm going to show you, I really can't see any reason why this was included as a tie-in at all, because you have like Conan in the modern age. I didn't know it happened. There were 3 of them, 17, 18 and 19. There's 17. And 18 and 19. I mean, not only were they worthless in terms of the storyline, but the covers weren't even much good, so I wasn't too happy with those. Then we had a couple of issues of Spider-Woman. As you can see, almost everybody got in on the act. Interesting cover there. And once again, nice cover. So that was Spider-Woman. Then we had an Oddity. I know nothing at all about this series, but this was one of the very few tie-ins that didn't have that little King in Black motif in the corner. Although I'm assured it did have some connection to the story. Well, I can believe it because obviously issues 2 and 3 are there. I don't know why 1. You can see it's got the issue 3, it's got the motif. And issue 4 likewise with our friend Null there, so yeah, I don't know why they didn't put the little King in Black motif on that one, but I got up a list of all the tie-ins, and that was there, so I have to believe that it was a tie-in. Although, as I say, it's pretty hard to tell what ties in and what doesn't, to be honest with you. All right, then we have Symbiote Spider-Man. There were five in this series. This was a very early tie-in as well. There's a variant of number 1 with Mr. E. Reminds me of the DC's The Creeper there, except without the green and yellow that he used to wear. Mr. E. I've heard of Mr. E from somewhere else, but and that was issue 2. And 3. Variant of issue 3, that's quite nice. And issue 4, I believe we have a number 5 with the variant, which is the nicest of the lot. That's actually cheaper than, even though it's sort of like probably a 1 in 30 or 20, or it was actually cheaper than the than the rest of them. So yeah, that was Symbiote Spider-Man. Now I haven't read a Thunderbolts comic in quite some time. This one was actually quite amusing. Weird characters in there. I actually enjoyed this one. Although it didn't have much to do with the main storyline. Thunderbolts, it had something to do with Norman Osborn trying to rip them off. That's the variant of number 1. Issue 2. That's I like that artist. That's Kyle Hotz. I always recognise him straight away from his style. And probably Kyle Hotz again, I believe. Yeah, nice covers those. So it was a it was a very entertaining story, and some nice Kyle Hotz covers. Didn't mind shelling out for those at all. Now, this one, I don't know what the heck that was to do with the main storyline, but a group called the Union, who I've never heard of. issues 1. Thankfully there was only 2 issues. Pure tedium as I remember, but yeah, that's what you get when you buy everything. And then last but not least, we have, well, not last but very close to it, we have the regular Venom title, which tied in. That's a nice one. So Venom was very much a part of the main storyline, so these are quite apropos, you know. Well worth reading. 32. I think that's the variant of 32. There's the regular edition. And that one's in your face, isn't it? 33. In his face as well, by the look of it. And nice one, that. I like these moody covers. 34. Then after 34, I think we had edition 200, which didn't come out for quite a while. There was a big delay between that issue. Oh no, we have a few more. Got all the single issues to show you now. That was a little thing they brought out to try and help you keep track. Once again, it didn't have the little motif, but obviously King in Black handbook. Quite helpful if you wanted to follow what the heck was going on. Right, I'll pull all these out together because they are all the single issues. Right, we had Immortal Hulk. These were all jacked up to $4.99. I think these single issue ones for some reason. Except that one, I think that was $3.99. Iron Man and Doctor Doom. That was a very early one. And we had the Black Knight. Here again, what he had to do with the storyline, I don't know. Some group called the Marauders, who I'm not familiar with. And Cap, good old Cap. He got involved, I remember, so surprised there was a tie-in. Black Panther. I think there's a variant of Black Panther as well, as I remember, yeah. Variant there. And Ghost Rider. I love this character, Ghost Rider. I wish to do some decent stuff. Stuff they did way back in the 70s was absolutely brilliant. Scream, that's a nice colour. One of the symbiotes are called Scream. And the Amazing Spider-Man. So these are all just cash-ins, these really. Wiccan and Hulkling. No idea what the heck that's all about. Certainly had nothing to do with the storyline as I remember. And then we're back to the Immortal Hulk again. Okay folks, well, that is the entirety of the King in Black storyline. I don't know how many issues there are there, but I've read them all. It was quite a marathon. Anyway, that was my little trip into comic covers. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back shortly with probably some pickups. I've had a few pickups for the last couple of months, a few bits of Destiny stuff. So, yeah, I'll be back with you though. Thank you for tuning in. Do keep subscribing, and do keep sending in your comments. I enjoy those. I reply. I reply to everyone. So yeah, get your pads or your phones out and let me know what you thought. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye bye now.